discussing this like silent, invisible heritage. And also would be very interesting, then is the second point that interests us worth of elaborating further, how this heritage is rediscovered again, how it becomes meaningful, who are the historical forces, who are the historical social actors who start the discussion and who break this pathological homeostasis, and how the silence is broken under which particular circumstances. And here I'd like to suggest also to elaborate more on this, like, where political will, where is the will to act is situated? Because you speak in your presentation about a variety of social actors, like some monuments are, as we call, spontaneous monuments. Some monuments are being removed is treated as an act of vandalism, which is like done by people without any approval from authorities. And some changes are made at the level of local authorities or municipality or something else. And some changes are initiated by the states. So it's very interesting, where is the configuration of power, how the responsibility is shared and divided by particular social actors and at different levels of authority, and where actually this particular political will is articulated, and who is initiating the change. And here I'd like to suggest the concept institutional void is the concept. I think it's developed by Herbert Gottweis and Martin Heyer. It's like in a situation when there is a problem, a social problem or political problem, but none of the current institutions are directly responsible for solving the problem. So it's kind of institutional void, that there is a question, but nobody directly is responsible for solving the question. And then in this institutional void, different reconfigurations of power start, like interest group, popular movements, spontaneous movements, and they start to articulate this public opinion and political will. And third aspect is very interesting, because when we speak about Soviet heritages, most of it, let's say, most of the theory, at least large part of the theory, speaks about active forgetting, about erasing it, about removal of this Soviet heritage. And you mentioned significant things like reframing of the heritage, you know what I mean? Like, for example, it's very interesting that Victory, the former Victory Day, it's like a significant historical event, and that cannot be erased from popular consciousness. So it's like you cannot just not like Lenin monument, you cannot just push it away, but like reinventing new rights and giving new meanings to that particular day, and finding new ways to express social solidarity. This is particularly interesting. And there's another aspect. I don't know what is your background. I'm a sociologist, so again, it depends on your background and to which direction are you going to. But as a sociologist, I'd like to see the information of these historical materials organized in a more systematic ways, maybe in a ways of maps, maybe in a ways of diagrams, how this, just in terms of quantities, how this heritage was changing, how the general situation of heritage was developing. And my final comment, not a comment, question is comment is regarding the former Army Day, February 23, and you said it was renamed and shifted to October 14. So what is the legacy? Is it perception as the same holiday? Because I see it's a new date and it's a new name. So what is the connection between the two? And once again, thank you for your presentation. I wish you to elaborate it into beautiful text that you can make rich use of your materials that you collected.
Anyone else wants to ask anything? Yeah, please.
Thank you. Last. I want to ask about one diagram you showed about monuments which were destroyed, of Lenin monuments. And I was wondering, because there was very little monuments destroyed in the western, like very western Ukraine. I was wondering why, if you can...
Yeah, he said, he explained.
Okay, sorry, so I missed that part. And I was wondering about backlash processes, if there were like backlash processes, I mean, so if there were destroy of Lenin monuments, whether they were destroyed, did people destroy also monuments, I don't know, like from some pro-Ukrainian, let's say, heroes across Ukraine? Thank you.
Would you like to reply? Hmm?
Thank you for the comments. I agree with most of them. Really, this work is very far from the finish. I still feel there need to be a lot of work done. Of course, I feel like there could be more rich theoretical background. I absolutely agree with that. Answering the question, when I told that historical controversies feel that the conflict on the East, it wasn't my words, really. I quoted words of historians that have theories about it. In that case, I could quote Georgy Kasyanov, that regarded just how historical controversies turn it into war. But for me, I just think this really like only one of the reasons, and maybe even not the most important reason. So I agree here. Then I don't really remember when I called some actions of memory politics in Ukrainian Sergeant Tamil Bandera as historical justice. I just said that Yushchenko's speaking about it in the words of historical justice. There's his point of view, and if I use something about it, maybe I don't remember, then it is my fault. Then question of whether the Lenin monuments demolition was visual desovietization or it was something against Russian identity. There can be one answer, of course, but I want to say just one thing, that most of the demolished Lenin monuments were before the war, before start of Russian-Ukrainian war, even before the start of Crimea, conflict in Crimea. So in this time, the question of Ukrainian-Russian controversy wasn't that high, as it became later. So, but of course we can